tornado watch that was just issued for our southeastern Kentucky counties. This is all ahead of the potential for strong to severe storms to be arriving a little bit later this evening. So let's kind of walk you through what we're going to be seeing across our area as we go through the next several hours. First, let's start with what's currently going on. It is warm, it is humid. Although we have the cloud cover, we also have enough breaks in the clouds, or the clouds are thin enough in places to where we still have that solar insulation. So with that heating still coming through, that continues to add to the instability. Then we're going to also have upper level support as well, and that's all going to lead to fuel for those storms that are going to be arriving later tonight. Now, I want to go ahead and tell everybody right now, go do your things. Go to your outdoor plans. You still have a couple more hours before these storms are going to get here. Once they do, you're going to want to be inside a sturdy building, especially for tonight. If you live in a mobile home, you may want to consider staying with some friends that may be having a block house, something like that, just to be in a safer place for if we do have these strong to damaging winds or isolated tornadoes coming through overnight while folks are sleeping. We're at 80 degrees right now in Knoxville with a heat index of 82. It's been warm and humid through the day today. And winds out of the south-southwest have been pretty gusty at times, and that's helped to bring up that very warm and that very muggy air. So for tonight, we have a weather impact alert for the rest of this evening and overnight into very early Saturday. Timing-wise, we think the storms won't be arriving until maybe around 11 p.m. or so into the northern plateau counties and into southeast Kentucky. There may be a cell or two that gets here before that, but the main line won't be here until around then. This will last until around 5 a.m. Then our main impacts will be the potential for strong to severe storms. Heavy rain could also cause some localized flooding, and we need folks to stay alert to the changing weather conditions that are going to be happening later this evening. And make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather alerts and notifications. We actually have a article on our website that tells you about local ways to receive alerts. A lot of counties have their own alert system, and even some cities do too. So on WBIR.com, if you just search WBIR emergency alerts by county or ways to receive alerts by county, it'll pull up that article for you. I'll post it on our social media pages as well. And that way you can download the free WBIR app and receive your notifications that way, and also download your own community's version of an emergency app, and that way you can also receive alerts. I don't know if your TV is going to be the best way to get these alerts and notifications overnight tonight, because power outages are actually going to be a big concern with the potential for those damaging winds that are going to be coming through later this evening. So let me look at something real quick, because that tornado watch literally came in as we just started this watch here. Okay, so it's until 3 a.m. That's going to be the tornado watch. Here, I'll go ahead and go to it while I'm checking this out. This is the fun about streams, folks. We're just doing it on the fly here. So this new tornado watch that has been issued is going to be in effect until 3 a.m. Eastern time. That includes all of our southeastern Kentucky counties, none of our East Tennessee counties at this point. This is ahead of some discrete cells that are out ahead of the main line. I expect to see some watches eventually extended into the East Tennessee area as well. But this watch has been issued for the potential of a couple tornadoes, widespread damaging winds, possibly some significant wind gusts of 70 to maybe 80 miles per hour with the strongest storms, and some large hail also possible, maybe as large as ping pong balls, which is about 1.5 inches in diameter, or larger than that, getting up to that 2 to 3 inch in diameter range. So every storm tonight needs to be taken seriously, whether it's a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. All of these storms could be very impactful for our area. Again, right now, we don't have anything going on our radar across our area. We just have the just cloud cover right now. Here, we'll go ahead and take this full here for you. We just have some cloud cover at this point, and even some thinning in the clouds, it looks like, coming in from the west at this time. But then later tonight, the Storm Prediction Center has our area highlighted under a level 2 and a level 3 out of 5 risk for seeing the strong to severe storms. So the yellow is the level 2, the brown is the level 3. And notice that our entire viewing area is highlighted. So folks who are watching this right now and saying, what about my city? Yes, yes, everyone has the chance for seeing those strong to severe storms later tonight. Just the areas shaded in brown have a slightly higher risk than the areas shaded in yellow, but everybody has that risk. And then back off to our west, that's where the storms are already starting to fire up, which is why the Storm Prediction Center went ahead and issued that tornado watch for parts of southeastern Kentucky here. This is the area where we already have the storms going, and it's actually probably this cell right here. That's the reason why they went ahead and got that issued ahead of time. This is moving almost due east, and this cell is all by itself. When you have a supercell, that's like that, a rotating cell that has at times produced confirmed tornadoes. It's an environment where it can use all of the energy and it has no competition. Notice how there's no storms out ahead of it or kind of above or below it right now. So I expect that that's going to be our first problem storm in the next several hours. Now notice this is still well back off to the northwest of Nashville. So we have a couple hours before it gets over here, but that's going to be the first one to watch. Then we have this developing line back through parts of Missouri and into Arkansas. That's going to be the main line that's going to arrive later tonight here into our plateau in southeastern Kentucky counties. That's what the ones that we're talking about when we're talking about our timeline for this evening. And there you can see the tornado watches are already in effect for areas back to the west, all the cells going on off to the north, and then now our southeastern Kentucky counties. I do expect to see these eventually for parts of East Tennessee, or will likely be for parts of East Tennessee, depending on how far down to the south this back end can develop. So now let's look at the futurecast. I want to go ahead and be totally transparent with you. Our high resolution models have not done a great job with these storms that we had earlier today, and that lowers our confidence for how they're doing with the storms for later tonight. So just understand that when I say check back for updates, this is why, because this may not be accurate to how this ends up working out. So all this green right here, that's just kind of clutter, so ignore that. This is that main line that I was talking about that's going to be coming in there. Okay, just checking something for more updates. That main line is going to start to arrive by around maybe 10 p.m. to midnight into our plateau in southeastern Kentucky counties. That individual cell that I was just pointing out might come earlier than that. Then the line is going to continue down to the southeast into the Knoxville area by around midnight to 2 a.m. and areas east of that after that point. This should all be out of here by around or slightly after sunrise tomorrow morning, and then the rest of your Saturday actually looks pretty nice. Sunday we'll have another chance for some scattered showers and storms to develop across the area. As of right now, those are not expected to be a severe concern, but it's the weather, it can change. So check back for updates. Our potential impacts for tonight. Wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour or higher with the stronger storms as they come on through. And because our trees are so big and bushy and beautiful right now, they're going to act like sails, and that means they'll be catching the wind more than they would in the winter when they don't have the leaves. Power outages are a big concern for the night tonight because of that damaging wind threat. So make sure your devices are charged. Have your cell phones all charged up, have your NOAA weather radios, replace the batteries, and be ready to go for this evening. And like I said earlier, you want to have multiple ways to receive weather alerts and notifications just in case one doesn't work. Your TV is not going to be the best option for that if you normally fall asleep with your TV on and think you're going to hear the emergency alert system sound, because we might lose power. So we just want you to have backup options there. Could see some localized flooding from some of the heavy rain, large hail a possibility. Ping pong ball size is about 1.5 inches in diameter. We could have bigger than that. And then isolated tornadoes are going to be a possibility because we do have that rotation in the atmosphere right now. To recap the timing that I was talking about, we're looking for about 10 p.m. to midnight in the area you see shaded in red right there. Then midnight to around 2 a.m. for the valley. That does include the Knoxville area. And then after that in our eastern counties, and again, all of this likely is out of here by or around sunrise on Saturday morning. So we have the weather impact alert for the rest of the night tonight and the very early morning hours of your Saturday, and then the rest of the day looks pretty nice if you have any outdoor plans. It'll be warm and breezy with highs getting into the low to mid 80s. Now Sunday into Monday. The same way I just told you that the high resolution models are not doing a great job, there are tiny little impulses of energy that are going to be riding through the overall flow, and the models have a very hard time resolving those. So Sunday, maybe off and on rain chances, maybe some in the morning, maybe some again later in the day. And Monday's going to be a similar story with maybe a couple rounds of rain coming on through. We can't forecast the timing that far out, so check back for the updates to that. We may have to raise those rain chances just a little bit. Notice it's warm and humid all the way through Tuesday. Then a stronger system comes through Tuesday into the day Wednesday. And as we finish out next week, it looks like we're going to see a change in the pattern, hopefully for the drier, because we have had a soggy start to the month of May so far. And that also could lead to some cooler temperatures coming back into the area as well. So let's give you another look at the radar one more time to kind of see what we have. Nothing happening here right now, but back off to our west, this is going to be the cell that we're watching here. So we have the new tornado watch that has been issued for our southeastern Kentucky counties. I'm going to go ahead and stop the radar, and I'll go ahead and pull this up full for you here. So this is going to be the cell that we're going to be watching later that's to the west of Bowling Green right now. That one has had a tornado warning on it since it was first started to develop back in parts of Missouri, and it is still going strong here. So like I said, it's going to pass the Bowling Green area and then might get over here into our viewing area, into parts of Wayne and Pulaski counties by later tonight in a couple hours. So you still have a couple of hours before that cell arrives, but that's, I think, going to be our first troublemaker. After that point, it's going to be everything that's back off to the west here. That's all going to kind of congeal into one large line. And that's going to be the timing that I was talking about with the 10 p.m. to midnight arrival, and then the midnight to 2 a.m. in the valley, and so on and so forth. So that's the general idea, the general overview. Again, we have a new tornado watch that has been issued for our southeastern Kentucky counties that's in effect until 3 a.m. for the potential of not only tornadoes, but very strong damaging winds with any of the cells that do develop, and the potential for some very large hail. And the Storm Prediction Center does have our entire area highlighted under this risk. So for everybody tonight, you need to be paying attention to the potential for these strong to severe storms. We're going to take a break and get some dinner now too, so we have some brain food to cover these storms later. We will be here live anytime we are needed to do that as we have storms coming on in. We'll be on Fox 43 at 10, on WBIR at 11, and here all night tracking these storms for you. So join us and keep up to date with the very latest on WBIR.com, the WBIR app on your phone, and WBIR Plus app on your TVs.